After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 610. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, as we are recording. This is 2024. And we're recording a week late because we had too many things last week.
Yes.
I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
I'm Tali, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Foon in the Woman Cave. I apologize in advance if I have to get up or if I'm sniffling a lot. I'm fighting some kind of a autumn cold, I think. That's all it is, but it's kind of not fun. So I apologize in advance. We want to welcome all our new and returning viewers to the Foon in the Woman Cave. If you're new, we're glad you found us, and we hope you find something that you enjoy so you'll return. If you are returning, we're glad to have you back. We always like to have you with us. And if you are new or returning but in the shadows and would like to become more involved with the podcast, please feel free to subscribe. There's a little box, a little subscription button somewhere under the video, and you tap that, and you can tap the little bells that will allow you to get, notified of when we come up. And we only come once a month usually, so you don't get a lot of notifications. But if you wanted to have your notifications just for some of them, you can still do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. If you want to take part in the alongs, you need to go to the PHN home, which is phnpodcast.freeforums.net, and that's also in the description below the video. Okay. I feel like I'm rusty because it's been over a month.
Before I go on to... Sorry, I heard noise. Before I go on to our tea, how many projects do you have?
3 plus a design in progress.
Okay, I have 2 plus design in progress. So you will be going first. But before Mom goes into her tea, I believe I have posted on the PHN Instagram some of the things that we were busy making that made us push back first our Zoom for the Patreon and then the actual podcast. We did 2 different kinds of Italian cookies as well as other things. The pictures of the Italian cookies are what I posted in our PHN Instagram, if you happen to be interested. They're Italian cookies.
They're Italian cookies. In fact, we had the S-shaped ones today with our tea.
The S-shaped ones are going to become staples for us. Yeah. So
the other ones we no longer have. I gave them to a friend, and I told her she was a guinea pig. So it was it had orange marmalade, kind of a thumbprint.
Yeah, Italian orange cookies.
Yeah. So, and what you do is you put a little powdered sugar to take some of that bite out of it.
It's definitely very, very orange, though.
Yeah, it's good, but we definitely preferred this one. And it's this one kind of puts you in the mood of a cross between a digestive and a biscotti. It's really good.
I mean, technically it is a biscotti.
Well, I always think of biscottis a little differently with the almonds in it. Not the almond flour, but just almonds, the pieces of almonds.
Yeah, even though in Italy, apparently, any cookie's a biscotti.
Apparently. What is that?
What are you looking at?
I felt something vibrating, but my phone's over there.
My phone's here, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Every once in a while that happens. I don't know. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so I did pull for prizes, but before we do that, in my Adagio Autumn Leaves mug that Davina got me when she bought, I think it was Torange that she got me.
Yes.
For this.
Which was disappointingly not as good as I thought it would be.
It wasn't as good as it was in the other, so I got rid of it.
Yeah.
Somebody else is enjoying it.
Because usually we like Torange.
Yeah.
It was very orange.
It was like they didn't mix it the same way or something.
Yeah.
I have in here my In Sickness and in Health blend. I've only had this a couple of times, and oddly enough, when I'm not feeling well, it's got chamomile and lemongrass and I think peppermint in it. And it settles your stomach and kind of, there's no caffeine in it. I wanted to have little gray cells this morning for that, but I felt that this was a better option for this, and it seems to be doing the trick. So this is one of my blends that Adagio works its magic on to make it work.
Yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, because I didn't make it today, I have in here an Adagio tea, Black Dragon Pearl. And this is one of those teas that it's what I call a base tea, so it's one that it doesn't change. You might find it at multiple different sellers, keeping the name Black Dragon Pearl, because that's just what the tea is. It's not a special blend.
Isn't that one of those balls?
It's the balls, yeah.
Those are fun to watch.
And they're also, they're easier to clean.
Yeah.
Because once they unfurl, it's just like you dump them out, they don't stick.
There's some of my blends, I do a lot of moderate caffeine to low caffeine. And if you do something that's low caffeine, a lot of times it has rooibos or honeybush. And rooibos especially is a bear to clean out of the basket, the infuser.
I believe when we read up on it, they come from the same plant.
Yeah, they do.
So,
oddly enough, I prefer honeybush. I like rooibos, okay, but it's very strong. It's got a very odd taste to it. I prefer the honeybush. But okay, let's see here. I need tea. I was telling Talia, I think I made this a little too sweet because I've only had it a few times. And when I made it in a bigger mug. And I'm trying to cut back on my sugar, so I cut back on the sugar, but I still think I could have cut back more. Because chamomile and... chamomile is already sweet, and so is peppermint or whatever that is I have there. Lemongrass is a little on the tart side, but it's very mellow.
Now, you might find also that, when you're sick, maybe you want more tea and you just keep to your normal sugar.
Oh, yeah. You mean if I make a bigger mug?
Yeah, because it's like...
Well, I think that this can be done with the bigger mug, the 1.5, because it tastes too sweet.
Right.
So,
because, I mean, normally if you're not feeling well, if you have a tea that makes you feel well...
Yeah.
It's far more likely, at least in my mind, that one would have a larger mug to drink from versus one's normal.
I wanted to make sure that I could actually stomach it today, so I just, and it's fine. All right, so let's see. We do have prizes. I pulled third quarter prizes. So that means the third quarter of the Anything Goes and the cardiac dysautonomia arthritis cal is done. I think that's all we had to pull for.
Yeah.
Let me see here. So let's get to the right place here. Anything Goes. Okay, for the Anything Goes, the first prize that I pulled was for Jodidiah, and she won this really lovely project bag. I think this was donated by Rena. If not, I apologize. It is a...
Looks like desserts.
Little Robin Cottage, I think is what it says.
That's what it looks like.
I love this. It's teapots and...
it's just tea time.
Yeah, it's tea time. It's got all kinds of like Danishes and...
It's like
cupcakes.
Little pies and...
Yeah, it's tea time. It's a teapot. So this is... Jody, this is what you won. It's when you let me know your particulars, name, address, and what you won for what along, okay? So you got the bag that has like the tea time on it, okay? The other prize for this quarter was for Rena. And Rena, you got my leftover yarn. Remember the yarn I used for the shawl for my friend? I think there's... I don't know how many are in here. I don't want to open this up. I think there's either 3 or 6 in here. I don't know. But it's that pink yarn. You can see right.
Yeah, she's not. It's not like she's used it. It's
no, it's in the bag.
What happened was, I was going to use the same yarn to make a similar. I was going to use the same yarn. Look, I can't talk. I was going to use the same yarn to make a different project for the same person.
Yeah.
But as it turned out, I can't handle polyester.
Right.
But as it also turned out, Mom needed more yarn than anticipated. She used part of my yarn that I picked up for myself. This is what's left of the yarn that I picked up for myself.
Hey, if you get that one there, it's the same yarn. I'm going to give her that one as well. That'll make 4 instead of 3. This is it. Thank you. This is it, Rena. You remember the color. So this is Feels Like Butter. So you've got 4 of these. I think it's 4 of these. It looks, if you look at the package, you can see it looks like there's 3 in the package plus this one. Okay. Okay. I don't know what I would do with just one, so you might as well have all
So
four.
that
of them.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so Rena, you have won the pink yarn, the Feels Like Butter yarn for the
It
Anything
feels
Goes.
like butter is a Lion brand. So.
Yes. Jody, you won the project bag. Congratulations to both of you. Congratulations and everybody who participated. Keep putting things in because it has another quarter to go, and we pull a prize for the entire year.
Exactly. Hold on. Even though this has its own mic that's still picking up, I'm going to attach our normal one.
Am I not picking up?
Oh, we always use the other one. I just forgot to attach it.
Oh, right. Is it going to mess it
no,
up?
it's not. It's just going to have the sound change. That's
Okay.
all. At the very least, I didn't plug it in and forget to turn it on. I just forgot to plug it in and.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. So you might notice a drastic increase in the sound.
Volume or clarity or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Now for the cardiac dysautonomia, the first prize I pulled was for I Know Who You Are, and she won these 2 skeins of Yarn B. I couldn't find a color on it, but that would make a really pretty shawl or something. Okay. So I Know Who You Are. I want your particulars, please. You won the Yarn B multi, blue, green, blue, yellow, green, kind of bright colors. Just say the Monet colorway. It looks like Starry Night.
That's Starry Night's not Monet.
I know, but it looks like Starry Night. So anyway, you won the blue, green, pretty color Yarn B yarn. I Know Who You Are. Okay. So give me your particulars, and I'll get that out to you. I think that was also donated by Rena. And speaking of Rena, she also won one for this art. Now, I never allowed I never allowed doubles in the same along,
No.
in the same, actual along. But if you're 2 different alongs during the same period, you can win 2 different prizes.
Right. I mean, because you put in the work for each one.
Right. So I'm not sure exactly what to call this, but this is more Lion brand. Some of this, Rena. This was donated.
It's a super bulky. It looks
One
like.
of these is a super super bulky cozy wool Lion brand in white, and I'm not sure. This is some kind of art yarn. It's called DLVE or DIVE. I'm not sure what that is. And it looks like some kind of art yarn. Fuzzy, almost like roving, although not really thick. Thick enough, but not real thick, like you think of for roving.
Does it look like it goes thick and thin?
Yeah, it does.
Huh.
So it does kind of look like that. So Rena, I'll send this off in the package with the other yarn for you. If you give me your particulars that you won this for the cardiac dysautonomia arthritis along. Now we have started the toy along. Jody, I was so excited that you are excited about this along. This is her favorite along. So every year I look forward to having this go up because she gets such cute little toys that she puts in.
Yes.
All of you guys do, but she gets really excited about it, so it makes me happy. So the toy along, let me see here. Just briefly, I know I have it in here. I thought I had it in here. Huh. Okay, the toy along, just briefly, has to be toys, knit, crochet, loom knit, paper crafts like doll houses or whatever.
Right. Paper dolls,
things like that. If you can make it work, make a case for it, we'll accept it. Featured yarns and patterns, my stuff, Talia stuff, Laura Concert stuff. For this one, Bakery Bears and crocheting, chronically crocheting.
Yeah.
And there may be another one that I'm not remembering, but I don't have my notes in front of me. I think the hashtag is PHN Toy Along 2024. I'm not positive.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever added Knittables. That's the one.
No,
who does,
not yet. Not
that's
yet. No.
The one who does all those.
No, we haven't yet.
Teddy.
No, but so I do have the toy along up so you can see who the featured patterns and yarns are. Bakery Bears and Chronically Crocheting and Laura Concert along with mine and Talia's. Okay, and that's yarn and or toy patterns. Okay.
Right.
So those are 2 chances of a prize for the finished object only. When they're featured like that, you have 3 chances if you do the yarn and the pattern. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Projects. All right, I need a drink. Okay, the first one I worked on, well, I didn't, well, it's not the first one I worked on, but I worked on it a little bit while I was watching TV with my husband, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, did a little bit of work on the Cherry Bomb shawl for Talia. This is an Anastasia Sattel pattern, I think it's called the something scrap, just scrap shawl pattern. So this is one of my go-tos, as you guys well know if you've been with us for any length of time. I still have this much, whoops, is that the right one? Yeah, I still have this much yarn to get through, so I'm going to be on this section for a while because I'm not really doing any size, I'm just going. So this one is definitely growing because it's worsted, DK worsted yarn, so some of it's my yarn, some of it is Miss Babs, some of it is I don't know what, because I don't know what it is. So that takes care of that. And Christina, my hook is right here. Christina made me this bag, in case you guys are wondering, because I kept losing my hook. So, okay, so that takes care of that one.
Okay, so then my first one, which is in my Birds on Wire bag. This is a plover bird bag. I have in here the Dance All Night socks by. Actually, I don't have that.
Is that not Korean, is it?
No, it's not. That's why I don't have it off the top of my head. Fiddle Knits. And I'm using. Well, first of all, this is Mom's Christmas socks. And this is Mom's. It came without packages. Very nice so far. I need to get my. I think I have at least another inch or two before I can start decreasing for the toe. But yeah, this is the first sock. That's where we're at.
Wait, that's worsted, you said? Worsted or DK?
It's worsted. It's
Worsted.
not DK.
I couldn't remember what I dyed up for you, so.
No. This is the first time I think I'm actually knitting it with the weight it's supposed to have.
That's the base they used it for the design. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted to work it in the base and weight it requires.
Okay, my next one is one I can't really show you. Okay, so I'm just going to wave the bag at you. My husband said to me, why aren't you working on that design? It's supposed to be for us, a blanket. So in my ginormous Christina Owls bag, I love this bag, is the design in progress, and all you can see is Christina's lovely bag.
Okay, so in my, you might want to show one more. The only reason why I'm saying this is mine shows up in design, my bag, and otherwise you're gonna have to double up at some other point anyway, because I only have one other project to show.
So do I.
You only have one more to show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you had two more.
I do have two more. You're right.
Okay.
Okay, this one, I was like, I kept looking at that. I'm like, that's a prize. No, it's not. Okay, in my Silver Shed USA 10-year podiversary bag for our PHN podiversary, my lovely Anne, well, she's not Brody anymore. Gander, I think is her last name.
I think it is Gander.
This is the little boy blue baby blanket. I didn't do a whole lot on this, just a little bit.
I want to do the heel turn on here because I had to focus on the heel turn.
Yeah. So, and we mentioned on the last podcast how we like the way this kind of, the colorways really
They
play
really
nice.
are nice.
They work out nice. There's interest in it. You know, I'm doing a straight double crochet for this because I just wanted to give myself a little rest. I have a whole bunch of things in Cerebel that I've done and I'm doing, and I was like, I don't want to do another one now.
Well, I mean, that's where this yarn comes in handy. You have a nice amount of it in a couple, I think a few different colors.
I have a multi, like a red, blue, I think.
Well, there's one on top of the normal blue that I can't quite tell what it is.
I think that one's red, green, and the other one's like peachy,
yeah, because they're
purple.
different than each other.
Yeah, I've got three colors down
because
there.
Because I think I intended to get just the one on the, more towards the wall. Because I had a couple times where I think she orders it directly from the supplier, and they've made a mistake a couple times, and I've just ended up keeping and paying her for what came, because it wasn't a big deal. Just ended up being the fact that you always like this yarn anyway, so it's not like, oh no.
It's just a little fuzzy. This ice yarn, some of her stuff is fuzzy and some of it isn't, and I don't know how to determine which is which.
Yeah, we haven't been able to tell.
I prefer the non-fuzzy, but if I'm doing something plain like this, it's not much of an issue. So it's really pretty. It works out very, very nicely. And as I said last podcast, the reason I know what I said last podcast is because I had to see if I had shown a different project last week. I had not.
Oh, okay.
I had not, and I had seen this one, and I was like, oh yeah, it works out real nice, and it's a very nice acrylic yarn to work with.
Okay, so I started a project since last time because we are coming up on Dad's, well, we're coming up on Christmas, and I always knit Dad Christmas socks. So I always do the Not Just Boring Boot Socks pattern because he likes a really short leg on his sock. There's no point really in doing anything with any special leg, because by the time I get out of the cuff, I have like it's actually like about an inch, half an inch before I have to start the heel flap. So it's pointless to have much anything else than.
Work it out nice.
Oh yeah, that's the heel flap. So thank you. I'm at the point I just finished the heel flap. Then I have the heel turn to go, and this is using Mom's Colorway Black Hole. And the pattern, like I said, is Not Just Boring Boot Sock pattern by Corinne Walcher. These work up really quickly when I work on them. Now, I can't work on them really in my room.
Too dark.
It's too dark in my room. If I'm having a really good day, I can work in there. But usually it's a mixture of the darkness and honestly, these even decay on smaller needles can be difficult if the light is down, no matter what the color is. Just because that's the way it is. It's what is enough light for me to be able to function without getting overwhelmed isn't necessarily enough light to work a smaller yarn on. So, especially not anything with a real pattern.
Right. Okay, my last project is the reason why I had for a month's worth of stuff, so relatively few projects. Well, one of the reasons.
Yeah, we had like a week's worth of cooking on one.
Well, and then the other type of projects we're working.
Yeah, and the week's worth of cooking wasn't like sometimes happens for us where one will sit and just sort of, no, we were both actively involved the entire time.
This is called my Scrappy Dappy Do blanket.
I'm so looking forward when I will be able to get back to my Scrappy.
So this is what it looks like so far. I started this, I think, the day after the last podcast, maybe, or the day of the last podcast. So you can see I made quite a bit of. Well, that looks a lot. Okay, so I can't see it like this unless I look in the camera.
It almost looks Americana right now because from my angle, it looks like it's red, white, and blue.
Well, what I'm doing with this is some of these are single crochets and some of these are doubles, and I'm not doing anything special. I'm just letting them go. So I want to get that effect, and I kind of like it. So yeah, this is just, it's a straight, well, no, I'm sorry, it's double crochet and single crochet, but I'm kind of enjoying it. I just have to remember where I'm at with what stitches, and it's one of those things I can just sit there and go and go and go and go and go, and not really worry about anything. I just have to make sure I turn it the right way so I don't get the increase or decrease on the edges.
Right.
So yeah, I started out with that black and white that I used for my shawl, and then I went to a blue. I don't know what that blue is from. And then I'm not sure what this is from either.
That is that's my one that's it's Dragonfly Fiber Arts. That is Maryland Crab.
Oh, okay.
That's mine.
And then I've got the red one up here.
Yeah. I'm surprised I gave you Maryland Crab, but that looks like it's Maryland Crab to me.
I don't know what it is. It's stuff that you gave me to work with, and I work with it. So this is what I've been working on because that's what I wanted to work on. I could just sit there and not really worry about much of anything. You can see it's pretty long, pretty wide. I can want to hit Ty in the head, but it goes way past my wingspan, about maybe 8 or 10 inches on each side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty wide. I'm having fun with it. Because, apparently that's what I want to do is blankets right now.
That works. Especially now it's getting colder.
Yeah. I don't want anything that requires a lot of focus in terms of I have to pay attention. My poor toys that I want to finish.
You're getting tangled.
My poor toys. I have to finish my toys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where my hook went. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Are you done there?
Yeah.
Any-
Wait, I'm not. I think this bag was given to me by Rena. I think. So thank you, whoever gave it to me. But I think it was Rena. Thank you.
I think you might be right. Any FOs?
No.
Okay, and then I'm just gonna wave a design at the camera. Let me just finish this last stitch. Design. Bag. This is my Maryland sheep and wool bag. So now I can put it on my lap because I'm cold.
Okay. What's next here?
Then it should be
Graphic novel.
Yeah, graphic novel, because you don't have any shop stuff, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, I just have to say that I still have yarn that I had shown you guys 1 and 2 podcasts ago that's just waiting to get photographed and put in the shop. I just haven't done it. I think I've already reskeined them. I just haven't.
Well, yeah, I know you took the time to reskein them one of the times that we had our tea time.
Mm-hmm.
But the huge thing is that you have felt like scrapbooking.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with the religious one like I did last time. I don't remember exactly. Let's see. I'm going to go from backward because I know I haven't shown you the ones at the end. Let's see here. We had 3 major feast days come up in the last week. We had.
Yeah, I know. I didn't remember to bring my religious one with me.
We had St. Francis of Assisi, St. Teresa Lisieux, and the Guardian Angels, and that's in reverse order. Starting with the Guardian Angels on the 30th, then St. Therese on the 1st, and St. Francis on the 4th. I haven't done St. Francis's page. This is just the beginning of what I'm going to use. Mm-hmm. But
Mom, you should see if you can pillage my Franciscan University magazine that I gave you to read for the...
make sure you read what you want, though.
I never read them. I always throw them away. So
okay, you can see the Guardian Angel page, the one with the angels, and then on the other side you see St. Therese. The little verbiage on the angel is the Guardian Angel prayer, and the verbiage on St. Therese is I will let fall a shower of roses. I will spend my heaven doing good on earth. So that was April 1st, October 1st and October 2nd. Actually, the angels was the 30th. I'm not sure why I put it over here.
No, they were right next to each other. It was October 1st and October 2nd.
Oh, Guardian Angels. It was the Archangels who were the first.
The reason I remember is because I had to cover up the Guardian... I had to cover up one of them. Okay, so it was St. Therese Guardian Angels is what I think it was. Because I had to cover up St. Therese because I did 2 pages of Guardian Angels.
Right. Yeah, it was the Archangels, which is Raphael, Gabriel, and...
you haven't done a page
and
for
Michael.
that.
That's back here. I haven't done it yet. I don't know if I showed this one. I know I showed the other one with our drawing, but I was kind of happy with the ceiling fan, the ridiculous, horrible ceiling fan. But that's like a moth to the flame. I don't remember I showed this one either.
Well, I can't remember what you did and didn't show.
I know I showed... I'm going backwards because I know I showed the HFI stuff.
Well, did you do anything out of order?
I did have stuff, and I'm trying to see if there's anything in the back here that I did that I didn't show. I'm gonna have to start marking them.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to have some sort of system where even if you just use the removable tabs.
Yeah, this one is I showed you. I think I showed you everything now in this one. Do you want to show yours first?
Yeah, I can do that. Let's see. I don't think I showed this one finished.
I don't remember.
So
I know you showed it, but I don't know if it was finished.
Yeah, it took me a long time to finish. So, I I can't remember whether or not I showed this, but I finally finished the Don Bluth spread for my book journal. Honestly, it just... At first I was going to do a lot more in the way of the animals, and then by the time I was finished with... what's his name? Littlefoot?
Yes.
By the time I was done with Littlefoot, I was just like, I was done. Because I was going to do the little Triceratops.
Just a brat.
I was even going to do like 2 different pages of spreads. And by the time I finished doing Littlefoot, I was like, I'm done. It's okay. I'm done. Because I also had to account for the bend in the page, which made it a little bit more challenging.
Dad was really happy the way you did that.
So, and then... This is... I was able to finally, after that, start with the 2024 books. So this is the first one for 2024. Right now it's still a lot of printed out stuff versus the ones that I purchased. Although I will start going into those too. I didn't have anything for Ancient Rome. Or, no, actually some of this is from the page for stuff. Yeah, I did pick up some for Ancient Rome. Not all of it is stuff I found. This is all, like the stuff with Cicero and Caesar, those I had to go online for. Because for whatever reason, my stuff that I purchased with a bunch of busts didn't have Caesar.
How is that possible?
I don't know. It was really weird. Then I ended up doing, this is the first of a duology for Timothy Zahn. This is... The Spectre of the Past, and then right after that comes Vision of the Future. I was actually saving some of these pictures from my other... Like, I had all these pictures back when I did my one for the trilogy. And I was like, oh wait, I need to save certain ones. I know I'm going to be doing the duology. I need to save certain ones for duology. And I was hoarding these 2. And the one with all of them, and then just printing them all out separately. Like, I actually have... I didn't have enough space to get Talon Card in here at the end. Well, I just stuck him up here.
Okay, well.
I wasn't going to leave him out.
Yeah, you would have had trouble then. That's not how I picture him.
Oh, no, it's really funny. I was really surprised the first time. If you look at... I actually have the... I first saw online, but then I went and looked at... I have the book of the Star Wars character guide. And it seems like it goes to, I want to say a little past the original, a little past the new, it goes a little past the prequels. And it's as far as like, that made no sense. But you have prequels, you have the EU, and then original, trilogy stuff. And I'm actually surprised by how short some of these people are. Because he's actually short as well.
Yeah. Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
But yes, so I did enjoy that. I made use also of my stamps. I was going to use my 3PO one, but 3PO did not get used. I just couldn't make him work naturally because I had to have one of the Millennium Falcon.
All I had to do is put him near Han.
Yes, Han would have loved that. And then I had to have him on the primarily Luke and Mara one because they spent a lot of time dragging R2 around.
Yeah, well, that's R2, not just C-3PO.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have a place to really put 3PO. Then this was an absolutely terrible comic in absolutely every way. I mean, look how look at the picture with looks like a heart. That does not look like Luke. I don't know what the artist cannot capture likenesses, and the way the story was done was terrible, which is surprising because Michael Stackpole has definitely written for Star Wars before. I don't know how he managed to get the tone so wrong for the characters. It was just really weird. Do not recommend. Not that it'd be easy to find anyway. I had to look very hard to find even a slightly decently priced version. The guy I found it from was really nice, though. Then this was the book I read about... this was all stuff I found online because I didn't have anything for Macedon. Philip of Macedon and Alexander the Great. Oh, this was the stamp I was telling you about where I ended up coloring it in with a special.
I remember the stamp.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was one that actually came from Greece. I like the ink that came with that. It's printed really clearly. I didn't have to.
It's like Robin Williams.
I guess he does kind of that one. I guess he lost an eye in battle. I think it's the one closest.
The picture, not Robin Williams.
Yeah, not Robin Williams. The picture. And then the last one I did was, this was a novel that I actually ended up finding by accident. It's a more modern mystery novel. One of the people I follow on Instagram, on my bookstagram, he doesn't have a booktube channel, but he will post on his bookstagram when he's finished a book. He'll talk about them. And this is one of the ones he mentioned. The guy's got a lovely Irish accent. And the book was called Under an English Heaven, and it's set in a small English village. It's modern, but it feels for most of the time like the technology's there, but it's not like it's shoved in your face. You can almost forget that it's there. And the two main characters feel like, I have a quote here, the pastor and his unsuitable wife could have stepped right out of St. Mary Mead's parsonage. Because if you remember, I think it's the first Miss Marple, you meet the unsuitable wife of that parson. But yeah, I basically took various pictures of the cover and chopped it up, fussy cut in certain areas. And then I added some lovely washi tape I got. It was actually, this is a person who sold some Jane Austen washi tape, and she had these ones with British houses. I've always loved the ones with the little, I don't know how to describe that. It's got like stucco and wood, I guess. It's always been very pretty. And then they had the English.
Tudor. I think it's called Tudor style.
Is that what it's called?
I
Tudor
think
style?
it's called Tudor style. If I'm visualizing what you're saying.
Well, it's right here.
I can't see it.
Oh, okay. And I just thought when I started placing my rose one, because at first I was just going to use the house ones that are down on the bottom, but then I saw the rose one, I'm like, oh, I could almost make it a climbing rose. So I did that, and then I stuck, I guess this was from Cozy Cat Press, so I stuck that in the corner because it just looked like it fit fun there. So, yeah, this is very different from any of my other ones because usually I have a lot of history or like the sci-fi. And then before I completely let Mom go, I started the cuttings for, this is the only Ancient Egypt one I read this year. So what I do is I cut out ahead of time what I think I'm going to use, and I have other options for later or for different ones. So I have my cuttings for that particular one. Already got my library card pocket chosen. And what I've been doing is because I had so many I needed to finish, I just started pulling out a bunch at a time and prepping them. So this is the one I'm actually really going to be working on. But this is a book on Cicero. This is just some extra ones from him if I need it. This is for Columbo, and grabbed two things. I have a lot for Columbo here because I have multiple Columbo novels, and I have, Just One More Thing, which is the book about the memoir.
It's not a biography.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I probably can't have too many Columbo pictures right now. I will just print out a bunch.
He was a pistol.
Yes, and it was so fun picking pictures for him because it's fun watching. First of all, I have a couple with him doing the One More Thing. And he does not look like your typical.
Oh, I love Columbo, but I think he was a troublemaker. His life, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Quite an artist. My husband was very impressed by his artwork.
Then I'm like, oh, maybe this is before I print out all the Columbo pictures. We'll see whether or not I get to use my detective animals in this one. And this is, I really disliked this book, but I ended up printing out Irish pictures for it, and several different. This is what I've been doing ever since the Agatha Christie. Ever since I did a bunch of Agatha Christie's for Christie's Missing Readathon, I started going like, oh well, let me look at different covers for a particular book, and it's interesting. Like actually, quite a few books have different covers, which it'll give me. Sometimes I'll use the words for all of them, but sometimes it gives me something else to fussy cut that actually works with it without me having to do a bunch of research. Now, I mean, all these other ones don't really have a lot already set up. Some of them, I remember I got that medieval packet. It was all pre-cut, and the lady sent extra buttons with it that made her feel medievally. So that I may have some of that in there, and as well as another one. But these are ones I still had to print them out. I just sort of wanted to separate them in my mind. Like, okay, these are ones I need to start looking for the pages for next. Because
my method is completely different from hers. I start opening boxes and going through the computer, pulling it out and putting it on paper.
Now, part of it is also I know ahead of time. I know quite a bit ahead of time because it's decided by my reading and my library style. Yours is based off of what do I feel like doing.
Well, this one
right
anyway.
now.
Back to my little Bumblebee book. I only did, I think, a double spread since I saw you last. Oh, no, it's not a double spread. It's a two different things. But the first one is, Taya gave me this cute little picture of an owl.
Yeah, what happened was, I was on Instagram, and I saw this owl with a poo sock in his mouth. And I'm like, it's poo and an owl. I need to send it to Mom. The funny thing is, you didn't register that it was a poo sock. You just read. Davina picked up on it.
Yeah. It was hard for me to see.
Well, because this one right here.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's after I cut it.
Yeah.
I did different sizes.
And you have the different angles too.
I had the different angles, and then behind him is a picture of people with their hand knit socks on their feet. They're in a circle. Mm. So this one, the owl is sitting there in the front of it. This is a gang of sock thieves, and you can see here. You can see up here, there's a little owl with a ball and chain. And down here is a ball and chain as well.
And you always have the ability to print out more of that owl if you ever want them in the future, and whatever.
And then I got a calendar in. I never know what to do with these calendars. I mean, we only have so many calendars that we can use. And this one had really pretty autumn birds and things. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just use the birds. Well, it also had, like, okay, before you go into the main calendar and the main picture, they had like 3 calendars with their 3 pictures or whatever it was to each page. So I took what was like 2 of them, 2 calendars, because 3 wouldn't fit, and I did this page. It's a Winnie the Pooh theme. Can you see the calendars behind? And you've got Winnie the Pooh with his honey pot, and you've got, I think it's Christopher Robin up there with Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, I didn't even see up there.
No, he's up at the tree. I'm sorry. He went to the tree, climbing the tree. I cut that up.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why we can't tell.
And there's no Christopher Robin. I couldn't make that fit, and I couldn't make Eeyore fit. So I've got the birds. September 2024 has a goldfinch. October has, I'm not sure what that is. And then November has a woodpecker. So you can see that it's just kind of an autumnal, kind of welcome fall
I know.
page.
I have a bunch of pictures for our birds I've already set aside, like with the idea that, okay, I need to move these to a page that I can print out eventually, that if I want to make one that's not necessarily book, although I've got a bunch of bird books that I've read too, so, you know.
Yeah, I have all the stuff on file, all those pictures and stuff, so I can use them if I want to, for my stuff too. But, because we have all kinds of like chickadees and...
Well, I know I haven't saved all of them because I sent them all to you guys, and I know you guys saved them. But I did set aside on my phone ones that are saying, this is for my journal.
Right.
So.
Okay, so that's what I have for that.
Okay, so that should be it.
Do you have any enhancements?
No, because everything enhancements would have been books.
Well, mine are also books, some of them, but...
But you also don't have the booktube, so.
Yeah. This is something that I've been looking for this forever, and I'm not sure I'm going to like it or not because I haven't tried it yet. It's Plum Deluxe, so I should like it, I think. Mm-hmm. This is a Vanilla Harmony chai latte mix, kind of like the Big Train or Oregon, whatever it's called, Oregon something that I really like so much, but it's dairy and it bothers me.
But this one's dairy-free.
This one is dairy-free. and this is a Plum Deluxe. So I got one envelope to see if I like it. And I also, well, you don't need to see that ledger. I got myself a new check ledger because I didn't like the way the other one didn't lie flat, and I couldn't get it to my numbers in the way I wanted to. But I got these. They're little they're little like.
Well, they call them dots, mini dots.
Yeah, they're dots, and
this isn't the brand name, which is why it looks different.
But it's not. It doesn't come out of a.
Not all of them do. I have ones that don't come out either.
This gives you a little bit of depth. So if I have a great big picture of, I don't know, landscape, and then I want something that's kind of on top of it but not flat. This will make it. One of these is.
Yeah, these look more like the other mini dots. Aren't necessarily. They're a little bit. They're not meant to be as raised.
No,
these are meant to be.
I
raised.
want it specifically to be raised. I have some that are, I think, an eighth, and some that are a quarter, or something like that, of an inch raised, so you can get a little bit of depth in it.
Are you sure it's a raise and not the size?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because they say large and small and all that. So, and the other thing I got for my Advent and Christmas devotionals this year. So I've used Ascension before. I've used Father Mark before. This one is the Advent Pilgrimage into the Heart of Scripture. So it's using the scriptures for Advent and getting prepared for Christmas.
Now, in the past, I think he's combined Christmas and Advent together. No? Okay, have we just only done the Advent one?
I have another one. I think he has early on.
Okay, because I've never done one where we've had both. I've only done one book at a time with him.
I think I have another one that's Advent. I don't remember. But this is the one that's a journey through Christmas with the Holy Family.
I don't think we ever went past Christmas, so I think we just did the Advent ones in the past.
That might be. And I got this. I'm a little leery because they do something here that I'm not real comfortable with. It's called Visio Divina, where you look at a picture and they tell you to see things, and I see what I want to see. I can't be told what to see. So we're going to see.
It's like you're supposed to place yourself in a scene, but the way they do it is like it's a little too guided.
Yeah, it's a little too led. If they just tell me to kind of imagine myself in the scene, then I can do that. But if they tell me how to imagine myself in the scene, I have more difficulty. But Father Mark is really good, and I'm going to enjoy that series. I'm trying to not overwhelm myself because every year I say that, and I've been doing better each year, but I still overwhelm myself. I have to.
Well, you try too much to do all the things, and I think what's going to help is that you're trying to put, pump on the brakes for you're picking up as many devotion books, because you have a tendency again to want to do all the things. But if you don't allow yourself to pick them all up, then you have to make the ones you have
work. And I have, to be fair, if you go through my books, I've used a good 3/4 of them. I have used them. I do have some that I haven't used because I haven't figured out how to make the time for them. But a lot of them I have used. So it's not like I don't use them.
No. It's just that I do think though that your tendency is also to maybe you don't necessarily need to do as much at one time either.
Before I forget, Christina is our lovely continual supporter here of our podcast, and she sent 2 skeins of yarn. She said I haven't decided if this is going to be one prize or 2, or if it's going to be maybe put together. I don't know. We haven't decided yet. But this is Plymouth Encore.
It'd be kind of cool together because they're Christmassy.
Yeah. This is Plymouth Encore. I really love Plymouth Encore. This is one of the first wool blends that I got when I went to our local yarn store. I got Plymouth Encore because it had wool, but it also had acrylic. So this is a 75% acrylic, 25% wool. And I don't know what color this is. It's a lime green, but I don't know what the color is. I tried looking for Christina and I couldn't find it. And this one's kind of a maroon or burgundy or whatever. Worsted weight.
It doesn't actually say on here. Maybe it's something that's covered by the tag.
I looked and looked and looked. I put the color number down for her because she actually keeps a record of her yarn. So every once in a while she'll ask me what she gave me,
which is smart. Yeah. I don't think this brand puts the name of the color on it because I'm even looking underneath the tag that's on here, just covering another barcode.
Yeah. They just have the number of the color. So both Christina and Rena, and there's a couple other people who are so generous with us.
Yes, thank you.
That allow us to give you guys really nice prizes. We couldn't do it without them. So thank you very, very much for that.
Sorry, guys.
I think that's all I have.
I think that's it.
I'm surprised it's so short for a...
Well, remember, we had a pretty intense cooking week. The last week of last month, and I know myself, I didn't get much of anything gotten done last month.
No,
I just couldn't focus.
Yeah.
I mean, when I finally posted a couple booktube videos this week, one of the people that I had been, prior doing a lot of contact back and forth with, watching each other's videos, she's like, oh, I wondered where you were at.
Yeah.
Because I had really just sort of dropped.
And I had kind of just like done a lot of the paper stuff. I was very tired. I felt...
Well, also, you finished that big project, and I think sometimes when you finish a big project...
I didn't want to do anything.
Yes. It's just like you're like, okay, I'm free. I don't know what I want to do, but it's not necessarily this right now. This craft right now. So that's probably why you felt a little bit more inspired in the paper craft area as well, which is fine because we show our paper craft stuff here as well.
And I have to admit that I really I feel much more relaxed now that I'm not trying to, at the last minute, put 3 stitches into something so I can
agreed.
show something. It's a lot easier to make sure I have something, even if it's... For a while there, I thought all you were going to see was the blanket, the scrap blanket, because if you saw how much I did, it's long. It's about as long as this couch, and it's a good width.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think it's a bad thing, even if one project happens to be all you work on, if you make a significant bit of progress on it, which is what the monthly allows for. And then, of course, it allows for the opportunity to do more journaling. Now, I didn't anticipate having book journaling. It's like I hit a point at some point this month where I was like, or it was late last month and then this month, where I was just like, okay, yes, I know I need to finish this project that is for someone else, but I also know I wasn't as close as I thought I was. I'm going to put the work in, but I'm also going to allow myself to do some other things.
My friend absolutely loved the shawl. She told me she uses it. She cuddles up in it when she does her prayers. She just wants to sit and read a book or whatever. So, which is what I wanted. I wanted her to feel like she wasn't, alone, that somebody was there. And she knows she's not alone. She's a very faithful person.
Yeah, it's just that sometimes it's nice to have, something that makes you think of somebody. Yeah, who knows when I'm able to finish this. If I just only worked on this and didn't let myself do anything, I think I would get incredibly frustrated because I thought I was done and I wasn't. So, yeah.
You're not worried. She was supposed to send that out with me.
Yeah, I had this really crazy idea that I was going to knit a lapgan, which is bigger than what you realize. It is basically the size of an Afghan, which...
Well, a small one.
A small one. And when I kept going back, because I made it a little bit bigger to fit some sizes I already had for something. But when I went back to see if, can I shorten it in any sort of way? I'm like, no, I'm actually right. It's only like an inch or 2 off of the actual lapgan size. It's like, okay, I didn't change it that much. Lapgan's just bigger than what I thought it was. And I had forgotten, it's about the size of... I think it was my crib blanket size or my stroller blanket size. I can't remember which. So that's like me trying to go like, yeah, let me just whip out a knitted baby blanket in the same amount of time as it takes to crochet a stole.
I have a lot of yarn in that stole.
Yeah. Ready, set, go, knit. And I'm sorry, crochet's going to win every time. Even though when we did the math, we had the same height broken up in a different way, like the same measurements broken up in a different way. It's just that crochet, first of all, you had some open work. It was you double crochet in there as well, which helped. And then just the fact that crochet works faster. Even with you tearing back, crochet works faster.
I think you're just slow.
Well, US 5, 6s, what am I using? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm using 4s.
I don't know what you're using.
Oh, I lied. I looked at the wrong thing. 7s.
I thought they were too small, too big.
I saw the 4 points. It was the millimeters. Even though I knew that didn't look like 4s. Anyway.
7s are my go. I like 7s for knitting.
Yeah, I do like 7s. When you're working, and I prefer it for something like I prefer to have a tight blanket type thing for baby blanket, personal blanket, whatever. So I like the fabric of it, but I also know when you're working US 7s for something that's like a blanket, that's going to take a while. Even when you do sweater, after a point for US 7s, you kind of start muttering to yourself.
Well, I remember I was using 7s. I think I was using 7s. Or was I using 4s? When I did the handbrake.
You use 4s?
I did it one time. I think it was for Kay's handbrake.
Maybe was it because
Because it was fingering.
Yeah, okay. Well, 4s for fingering, that's big.
Maybe it was DK. I don't know. Anyway, I think I was using 4s, and I got through the whole thing, and I'm sitting here as like I have an inch, and it never changes. It just never changes.
That happens. It's gonna seem like this ball will never shrink. Mm-hmm. There's a point where once you get to a certain point, then it's like, oh, okay, it absolutely shrinking. But Pound of Love is just a huge yarn, and it's easy to get discouraged when you're just like, I know I've been working on you, why aren't you shrinking? Even though it's like, obviously, if I look at my project and where my add-on tail is, I should be nowhere near, being close to having the yarn look shrunken. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I got somewhere, but
it's
you use less yarn to do your stuff than I do.
It's because that's the difference between crochet and knitting. Plus, I think your hook to yarn, your hook is larger for your yarn than my needles are for my yarn. So like,
I kept it pretty. I didn't want it really fluffy, so
I think it's still looser than what.
It's not here.
Oh yeah, sorry. Your tendency is to go a bit airier than I would.
Yeah, but not for that kind of a thing. I wanted it to be
well.
warm.
Funny thing is, when crochet tends to be airy, it's still warmer than anticipated.
My thought was, I remember that I wasn't doing it as big.
I think it was still big because this is tight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure it was bigger than that, but
yeah. I can't remember what. I'm not sure what Pound of Love calls for their needle sizes.
What's the weight? Worsted?
Yes, it is a worsted. I
Probably
had
like an 8 or 10 or something.
10's a bit big for that.
It's probably about an 8 then.
Yeah, I would say maybe an 8. I don't have a tag here. I must have thrown them. Oh no, that's my needle thing. Yeah, no. But 7 is a bit on the lower end, if I remember correctly, for this yarn. But I like a tighter project. But now I'm starting to feel the crash coming on.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I apologize for being a little more quiet, but like I said at the top of this episode, I'm fighting something, so I'm trying not to get sick.
And I'm always at in a position where I'm like, can only last so long before a crash starts kicking in.
But we've been doing well. We've been doing our podcast, and we are enjoying our podcast. So before we leave, we want to thank the people who commented: Looney Hiker, Paula, Meditative Crafter, Wendy, Christina, and Kara. Thank you for commenting. If I missed anybody, it's because I didn't see you just before we started. We're glad that you were with us. We hope to see you next month. That will be November.
And if you're a Patreon, we do have a Zoom last Friday of the month. Yes, we did have 2 this month, only because last month's was pushed into this month.
Right, that happens once in a while. And we pulled a prize for one of the Patreons, for the pay for Patreons. So if you want to find out if you won something, you got to be there. Now,
I don't think that anything should be changed for our schedule for either Thanksgiving or Christmas. That's one of the nice things. Another one of the nice things about being on the schedule that we are is that before we'd have to go like, oh, do we skip for the holidays? Do we not skip for the holidays? Well, it doesn't. We have our podcast at the beginning of the month anyway, usually. So both Christmas and Thanksgiving are later in the month, and then the Zoom is just based off of either when Christmas falls. Same thing for the Zoom, actually. If the last Friday happens to be
Christmas?
No, I'm talking about Thanksgiving.
Oh,
if the last Friday has to be the day after Thanksgiving.
It probably is, and we're probably not going to be here. We'll have to see what we're going to do with it.
Yeah, we'll have to see where we move it, because it'll probably be, again, another one of these where we push it back, because we don't want to do it earlier, because Thanksgiving cooking. Yeah, so.
And my parents, the reason I'm saying that we might not be able to do it is my parents come we're going to be doing stuff. Yeah.
Right, and that's what I had in my head. Like, if that would be the only thing that would affect the November one.
Mm-hmm.
But unless Christmas is on the Zoom Friday, the only other thing would change is if you guys said, hey, I don't want it the day after Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have to talk to you guys, like, for the November Zoom, that would probably end up in early December. Hey, do you want the December one pushed into January because you don't want to have it, like, right after Christmas? We'll talk to you guys when we get to that point.
Yeah.
But that is one thing that does occur to me, is that, people might not want to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Absolutely. I don't know why. I mean,
yeah.
don't have anything else to do with their time.
Because, I think it was after last Christmas we had only one person show up. I think it was Andrea.
It might have been. I don't remember.
I think it was us and Andrea, and maybe towards the end we had one other person show up. But it was like we just sort of hung out for a while, just the three of us.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was. It's just like, I seem to remember it was just us and Andrea.
Well, I know we did one with Andrea by herself. I just don't know
and
what it
I'm
was.
pretty sure it was the one after Christmas.
Because we had one with just Laura one time.
Yeah, that wasn't...
That wasn't a holiday.
No.
I think we had to change the date for something.
Yeah, I remember the one for holiday being like, are we even going to get anybody? And I think that was the one where we just had Andrea. Anyway, we do need to pull out. Looks like my shopper has just started, so this is good timing because I want to make sure they get what I need for our next dinner thing.
Yeah, we're having a dinner, not this weekend, but the following weekend, so we have to start cooking again.
Yeah. Now, that one doesn't have nearly as much cooking. The only thing I really have to worry about is the fish.
And I have to do the strawberry cupcakes.
But it's not going to be like last time we were cooking every day. So, yeah, going to go ahead and sign off because I need to keep an eye, make sure that Wesley does my shopping well.
Oh, my sweet Wesley.
Well, you see, I was thinking of, shut up, Wesley. So, two different Wesleys. Apparently, we were in two different genres there.
So I want to wish you all a very wonderful month. We don't do Halloween here, but we hope you all have a wonderful Halloween. We do All Saints and All Souls. But wish you a wonderful month of October. And we hope to see our Patreons at the end of the month. And we hope to see you guys in the early part of November. Thank you for joining us. We wish you a blessed month. And well, I guess that's it.
Yeah, you're just repeating yourself now.
We hope to see you soon. This is the Pen Hook and Needles Podcast, episode 610, and that's a wrap. Bye.
Bye.